Welcome, and thanks for tuning in today in new product updates from Plauti. It is great to welcome every one of you today in the wrap up of the year together. We can definitely start right away with our webinar and just with a brief also round of introduction. Nicola speaking here is account executive with Plauti. I'm the ginger on the right, and as a steady presence for this webinar series showcasing our most recent product updates, Ruben, our product manager with Plauti. And together we are Plauti, generating data happiness since 2012. Plauti is the company behind the Plauti Data Management Suite, the Duplicate Check solution, record validation solution, and Data Action Platform. Most of you know for Plauti to be in the company behind the Duplicate Check, right? Our most known solutions for data quality, which helps you to find, merge, and prevent duplicates from any point of entry and in autopilot. We offer you the best flexibility for duplicate management, and we are a 100% native solution in your Salesforce environment with advantages not only on the adoption side, but also in the possibility of customization and implementation to your existing processes. More on the data quality side, the record validation is our solution to validate and format email addresses, postal addresses, and phone numbers. With record validation, you can not only reach a higher level of data confidence, but also achieve the best targeting and segmenting for mass target campaigns and help your rev operations people to reach effectively to your prospect with valid information. The start of the show of today is a Data Action Platform, which is our mass action tool enabler for your data governance, all native in Salesforce. It enriches the Salesforce platform with the ability to create power users and track all your activities and into an audit log. And last but not the least, Plauti Data Management, our complete data management solution, which enables your Salesforce to be your single and complete source of truth by deduplicating, consolidating, validating, and standardizing custom records in your CRM. On top of that, Plauti Data Management offers in its package a tailored service of support in adoption, implementation, and customization of the solution with your current data management challenges and direct support channel to rely on. All Plauti solution, as you can see from the screen here, are Forth.com native. We are providing you the same Salesforce safety peace of mind by sharing the same strong security logic and processes, and provide a more efficient implementations and the full integration with your Salesforce business logic and custom processes. We're based in the U, and we bring data happiness throughout the world, right? So data quality knows no boundaries indeed. And all industries and sectors are now striving to achieve a true customer 360 view. This is why the companies showing the dolly here have all chosen Plauti, and Plauti is their partner to enable high data qualities and enable them their single source of truth within Salesforce to optimize their revenues and all their data-driven activities. But today's we're looking in a shorter webinar, so make sure to stick around with our Q&A after the product updates and showcase. We're going to cover some Plauti, something that Plauti is working across all its solutions for a while now, and we're excited to show it to you. And more on our start of the night, which is Data Action Platform. We will share the webinar recording afterwards, but we would love to hear from your questions on what you have seen today. So, what is new? First, probably you have seen this message before hitting close without reading it through. The new DC job overview with an updated interface and improved functionalities is set as default now. So it's out of the beta, and for now you can still toggle between the new and the old version of our DC job for duplicate check. For those of you that feel still nostalgic, they can still see it, but as of R1 2024, the old DC job overview will be discontinued to align that to Salesforce updated security protocols, which means that make sure to get acquainted with the new and more actually updated feature, an easier, more user-friendly version by February 12th of next year, when we'll be discontinuing in the production environment the old DC job overview. As mentioned, we have something that Plauti has been working in the back end for a while now. And starting with Duplicate Check, we are ready to bring a more personalized language experience to our solutions and users with the Salesforce multilingual support. Now, more 7 languages can be used, And regardless of your default language within Salesforce, our product, starting with duplicate check, will be translated to meet your needs. And of course, this initiative is to aim to make your user experience more intuitive and tailored to your preferences. But now let's talk about data governance, right? And as today main focus will be mostly on our data action platform, we would like to spend like a few seconds again to clarify what is data action platform for those who were living under the rocks. So what is data action platform? Data action platform is a tool that enriches Salesforce platform with the ability to create and enable power users. You can allocate data actions to Salesforce users with a very precise set of permission sets. It can be, for example, per user, per group, per actions either, or per records. And they can run these actions via execution methods that are granted to them. And those actions are tracked in an audit log. So hence the platform framework, right? So thanks to specific features, you will be able to perform many actions via different execution methods and natively within your Salesforce instance. So no more human error, failed export and import, or messing up with file extensions. You will have all your data governance built into your Salesforce without any limits. And of course, you can see some of the actions that you can do, but having the possibility of creating your own macros, run data actions into flows, combine it with the flow actions of other already Plauti existing flow actions capabilities for deduplicating and also validating records, and also the possibility to run Apex class, you can bring to the next level the potentiality of your data governance within Salesforce. But we are not here to talk about the already existing apps. We want to bring you some more updates. And we have one more thing to show you related to Data Action Platform, which is our Action Grid. Now, Data Action Platform Action Grid is a list view alternative designed to improve access to your records and to make your list view in Salesforce more advanced. For those of you that are more focused, they can already notice the extra mile we have achieved in the results list here, which we can go now up to 250 records in the list view. And with the Action Grid, you can actually perform more things than just a simple list view. We have introduced a spreadsheet-like features, such as the drag and drop of records. We have enabled you to copy-paste informations within records. We have enabled as well also the inline editing, and most importantly, the editing of the owner field, which is currently not possible in Salesforce list view. And last but not the least, now you can also have all your favorite app actions one click away. To show you more about this, I will leave the word to Ruben, who will be showcasing you what is the true power of the Action Grid. So without further ado, I will leave the word to you, Ruben. You can take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. I have the privilege to show you guys our newest addition to the Data Action Platform tool, which is called Action Grid. And Action Grid is a really powerful tool to interact with your data without having to transfer your data off the Salesforce servers, which is really nice. And yeah, we're now looking at a Salesforce list view, and everyone is familiar with this page. But maybe also with the limitations that come with this page. It's not really easy to manipulate data in the Salesforce list view. And that is the reason why we built the Action Grid for a number of reasons. But foremost, that you are able to manipulate data very easily, very quickly, and do a lot of fancy stuff to your data with all the capabilities that we have within Data Action Platform. And I'm going to show you a little demonstration of that. One of the things we cannot do, for example, is update pick list fields. We cannot update owners. We don't have a mass update capability, and so on and so on. Now, if you want to make use of Action Grid, we have to add the Action Grid button to our list view, and I'm going to show you quickly how that is done by switching to the Salesforce setup. I'm going to the Object Manager, and I'm going to find the lead object. Good thing to know is that the Action Grid can be applied to any object in Salesforce, also custom objects if you might have them. Simply, you go to the Object Manager, to the list view button layout, and you click Edit on the list view. And then at the custom button sections, we have the action grid as an option. We can move it to selected buttons and we can save. And now when I refresh the list view, on the top right, we have a new button called Action Grid. And when I click the Action Grid button, Action Grid will open with all the settings that are related to this list view that I'm now viewing. So if you have a list view with filters, for example, by clicking Action Grid, it will take over the filters that are set for that particular list view and will open up Action Grid with all those settings combined. Now we're looking at the Action Grid user interface, and at the top we see a header containing some metadata and all the actions that are currently assigned to my profile. So these are actions that I can execute on the data that I'm currently viewing. And in the table below, we see exactly the records that we just saw in the list view as well. And one of the things we can do, just as an example, is do drag and drop to copy values. And when I sort on the company name fields, I can, for example, see that there is Amazon and Amazon Incorporated. What I can do is drag and drop and make sure that I will standardize the company name. Seeing the same example for Buffalo General Hospital here, what I can do, I can simply drag and drop and make sure to mass update the records that I want to mass update. Clicking save, so I have to confirm my changes. So it's one of the examples that makes life a little bit easier when working with data in a list view. Now, another thing that we can do is, for example, updating the industry field here. And maybe I want to prepare this data before sending it over to my sales department. You can see that currently all the records are assigned to my name. But when I'm done manipulating the data, and when I'm happy with the data, I will transfer the leads to my sales team. And one of the things I can do to set up the industry field here, I can see that I have a lot of hospitals over here. So what I can do a quick search for a hospital, and it will narrow down the records in my view to all the companies that contain the word hospital. And then I can quickly open up the pick list here. I can look up the healthcare industry option and drag and drop, and that way I can update my records. Clicking save. One other thing that we can do to get this done is use any of the actions at the top. So when I sort on industry, I will make sure that all the records that don't have an industry yet will be sorted at the top. And I will now select the checkboxes to give you an example of an action we can execute. And one of the actions that we recently brought out was the action called Ask ChatGPT. So I'm now going to open up the Ask ChatGPT actions for the records that I've selected, which will open up the action immediately. And in the prompt, I can ask ChatGPT if you had to pick an industry, the company, and then company is operating in. This is a field variable which is replaced when we send over the prompt. What would you pick? Please pick one of these and limit your reply to one of these answers. And the answers are part of the industry pick list field. So as a result field, I'm going to set industry, and I'm now going to execute a process where I ask ChatGPT for an AI interpretation of the company name and make an educated guess to which industry that company belongs to. Way easier than picking it myself. And as you can see, when it's finished, the industry is set up, and you can see that it made some perfect translations from company names to actual industries. I'm now doing this in the list view, which is, of course, very fancy, but I can also execute this behavior on my entire database using Data Action Platform by running a dub job, for example. So that's really, really powerful stuff. Another thing that I can do is take a look at the phone fields in my list view. And as you can see, we have a pretty messy situation here. If I sort on phone and do it again, you can see that I have some very short values that They are definitely bad phone numbers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove them, click enter, and I'm going to remove all the phone numbers that I know that are bad, right? So I'm going to save that by dragging and dropping. And what I'm left with is phone numbers that could actually be correct. Looking at the phone numbers, I see that during the import, something went terribly wrong because in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brackets, I have a double country code, which I cannot really have in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all the records. I'm going to deselect the records that don't have a phone number. And I'm going to access the action called find and replace. And we all know find and replace, of course, from Excel, which is a really powerful feature. You can find a partial value and you can replace it with whatever you want. And I'm going to do that for the phone number field, which we can configure in many different ways. But what I want to do now is make use of regular expressions. And I have a regular expression here that I'm copying. And what this regular expression does, it will look for a plus sign, which is followed up by any number of digits between 0 and 9, and is followed up by a plus sign again. And I'm going to replace that with a single plus sign. And by applying this regular expression, it will remove any duplicate country codes that are present in any of my phone numbers, which is very nice. So this is just an example of what find and replace can do with regular expressions. We can also simply find a certain value that you enter as text and replace it with whatever you want. And we can use a find and replace action for standardizing values, for example. It's really good at that, for standardizing states or countries or any form of addresses. But also for doing some deep analysis of data and doing very in-depth corrections to data, like the things that I just did. Find and replace is very well suitable for. As you can see, we got rid of all the duplicate country codes, which is really awesome. Exactly what I wanted to do. So we are one step further in preparing this data set before we can hand it over to our sales department. Now, another thing that I would like to check out is my bank accounts here. And using Data Action Platform, we can also start a custom action. And the custom action is based on your own custom apex, which opens up some of possibilities here. And if I sort on bank account number, making sure the bank accounts are at the top, I will select everything again, but will not select the records that don't have a bank account number. And I'm going to the action launcher. And in the action launcher, I can again see all the actions that are assigned to my name, such as run a flow or run an Apex class. But a custom action I have in my library is a validate IBAN bank account number. So I'm picking that one, I'm clicking next, and I will start. So it will now check the IBAN bank account numbers based on my own custom Apex. And it's seeing if they are valid. And if they are valid, it will update the checkbox here called bank account is valid. And if it's not valid, it will not update it. So let's see what it did. You can see that the bank account numbers at the top are all valid. And we got 2 of them that are not valid. So I'm going to remove them from the view because they're invalid bank account numbers. And later on, I'm going to ask sales to reach out to these contacts, to these leads, to ask for a valid IBAN number. We're going to see that in a second. So yeah, that's all very nice. We're again one step further in preparing the correct bank account numbers. So before creating tasks to ask our sales department to reach out for valid IBAN numbers, I'm going to assign these records to my sales department. And as you can see, we have a lead score field here, which I'm going to sort on. And a lead score here determines how hot this lead is. So how many interactions did this lead have with us as a company? And based on that, we generate a lead score. And I want to divide these records to my sales team, and I want to have an equal distribution so that everyone, someone has the same kind of hot leads assigned to them. And I can do that by sorting on lead score. Right now, the lead score, highest lead score will be appearing at the top. And now I can start setting a different owner. And I have an incredible sales team, which are Black Widow, the Incredible Hulk, and of course, Captain America. And now I can select all three of them, and I can drag and drop it all the way down. And you can see that it is going to distribute it equally based on the sorting on the lead score to my sales team. I can confirm my update, and it has now updated them to assign them to these lead owners, which is really nice. So we now have almost perfect data, but we want this bank account number to be filled. So I'm going to sort on the bank account number again, and I'm going to select the records that don't have a valid bank account number or have a bank account number at all. And I'm going to use the create tasks action. And I'm now mass creating a task for these records. I'm going to assign them to the lead owner, which is Black Widow, Incredible Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, and Captain America. And the subject is going to be call them. The due date is going to be a week after task creation. And the priority is normal. And I can now write up a comment as well. So what I can do is mentioning them by their first name or their name, looking up the field variable for the owner. Please reach out to, and then I'm using a field variable for the first name. And between brackets, let me help the sales person to give them a phone number as well, and ask them for a valid IBAN bank account number. Thanks. Clicking next, we'll get a summary of the task that I'm about to create, creating 5 tasks. I'm starting that process. And when it's finished, I can open up the lead and see what it did. So when I go now to the activity tab, you will see that Black Widow has an upcoming task. It's a week after task creation. The due date, and you can see, hi Black Widow, please reach out to Martha with a phone number between brackets and ask them for a valid IBAN bank account number. Thanks. So yeah, just a couple examples on how we can use Action Grid with a treasure trove of possibilities with all the actions that we have in our action library to manipulate data, to set everything ready, complete data as well, maybe use Ask ChatGPT for some AI insights on the records. Well, there's a ton of things you can do with that as well. And eventually you can assign them to the users of your choice. And you can do all this without having to transfer data off the Salesforce servers, which is of course a big plus in terms of data security. And yeah, it simply allows you to do a lot of nice stuff with your data. So that's already the demo as well. I don't know if there are already any questions, Nicola, but I will definitely invite you guys to check this out. You can play around with this in a free trial for Data Action Platform for 14 days. And it's really fun to play around with this to see the possibilities that we have with the tool. So going back to you, Nicola.
Yeah, thanks, Ruben. Let me just pull the screen here and set it up for our Q&A session. Yeah, indeed, like there's not that many questions coming up already, but we are looking forward to hear from you. In the meantime, in the chat, I'm dropping in the link to start the trial experience to our products. You can find them all. They are listed. Is Plauti Data Management Suite, which also includes the mass actions built into the platform, the duplicate check for duplicate management, record validation for the validation of phone numbers, email addresses, and postal addresses, and the data action platform with the newly included action grid. We have a question from Yves. It says, like, can we assign to queues?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most definitely we can. So one thing you could do is select all the records and use the assign ownership action itself, which comes with a bit more options. You can, for example, decide to split the records even between the users you select here, but we can also select the queue here and make sure that the records are added to a queue. So by going into the assign ownership action after selecting the checkboxes, these are all possibilities.
All right. Amanda and Bartolome are actually asking more or less the same question. Is like, is there any additional charge, and what type of license do you need to have the action grid available?
Yeah, so the action grid is available in our premium edition end up. Yeah, that's basically all there is to tell about that, but free to experience in a trial. So if you're interested in that, even if you're already on the advanced edition, for example, you're always free to try a premium trial and experience the feature.
Well, I was checking the Q&A session. It seems there's no further question there. There is one more question from Avi. What is the flow button on the list view?
Yeah, that's this button here. So within Data Action Platform, we have built an action to be able to run a flow on a selection of records. And we can do that also in batch form. And well, we all use flows, of course, and in Salesforce, it's difficult to batch flows, so to run flows on a really large number of records. Yeah, with Data Action Platform, that is possible. So what we can do, we can simply select the records we want to run a flow for, and we can open the run a flow action. And then you can select a flow.
Quickly asking you if you're sharing something. Yeah, exactly. Also, that's the same. Like, if you want to share, what are you doing? Stopping sharing so you can take over.
Oh, I was showing everything all the time, by the way, but apparently I wasn't showing anything. So yeah, I was talking about this button over here. So you can select the records you want to run a flow for, and then in the action configuration, we can select a flow that is in our database or that is in our flow setup. For example, I have a flow here to delete cases with auto replies, close a case and ask for reviews. Well, these are all cases that are available in my flow library. And you have to map your record ID to the flow variable in the flow itself. If that is difficult for you, then there is a lot of documentation to help. And yeah, then it allows you simply to batch run flows on the selection of records, which is not possible in Salesforce itself.
Yeah, the added value is also that you can execute flows of action in flows as well, already existing flows. So you can not just launch flows, but you can also execute mass actions within the flows. So it's like flow actions, but for the mass actions component that we offer.
Exactly.
Is there any other question coming in? Or any other curiosity on the other features of a Data Action Platform? All right, I do not see any new question coming in. I guess that we can wrap up our session for today. We would like to invite you again to see start your journey into high data quality today to enable your Salesforce as a true single source of truth with the Plauti solutions. I've already shared the links in the chat box to start your free trials. So whether you're coming from a different separate app, you can always experience the full premium experience with the trial period for the other apps that you're evaluating. And if not, you can always reach out to us by searching Plauti on the App Exchange or contacting us via the chat tool over our website, which is plauti.com, and talk directly with our team of experts that is already waiting for you in line. And again, we thank you all for joining us today. So as you have, should you have more questions about our product, data action platform, record validation, duplicate check, and Plauti data management, feel free to over to our website. And thanks again for watching. And from Plauti team, we would like to wish you a happy holiday season. And until the next time, have a good day.